Hi there, Nick Watts here for We Love Betting. I am back for the 2013-14 season and it feels good. It's been too long, guys. It's been too long. Of course, Chris Graham and Mark O'Hare have already had a bit of a chinwag on We Love Betting about the forthcoming Premier League season and a few interesting ideas in there, I thought, gents, and a few great stats as well. Mark O'Hare kindly shared his notes with me to dig me out a bit of a research hole going into this season. So I'll be quoting a few of those throughout this video, which will be focused on the outright winner market initially, and then going forward I'll do a relegation video as well, and maybe one or two others if I find the time. So fascinating Premier League this year, absolutely. Picking a winner's a real tough task. And those three teams that everyone's talking about, Man City at 9-4, you've got Chelsea at a kind of 5-2 mark, and I think you can get Man United at 13-5, which could be of interest to Man United fans at least, who always seem optimistic. Although a new manager might have shaken that optimism just a little bit, who knows. It certainly makes for a fascinating betting market. And there probably would have been one point in the summer where I would have been looking at 10-1 Arsenal, 11-1 Arsenal, I should say, 33-1 Liverpool, 40-1 Spurs, and wondering whether there was any chance that they could get involved, depending on what kind of business they've done. As things stand, on the Monday before the season, they haven't done quite enough to convince. Spurs, of course, their biggest piece of business still to be done, and whether they can keep Gareth Bale or not. Arsenal keep threatening to spend some money, but struggling to change their old habits, really. And even if you are optimistic, I think you can't really look beyond those top three. The evidence suggests that it will come from one of those three, not least because in the last 10 years the biggest price you've been able to get for a title winner in pre-season was 13-2. That was for Manchester United when Chelsea were 4-9 favourites in 2006-2007. And anyone who backed them that year at that sort of price must have been pretty smug by the end of it, to be honest. That's one of the factors then, which narrows it down to those three teams. The other is that money talks, and not in terms of transfer budget, but in terms of wages budget. The three biggest spending sides in terms of wages at the top of the betting, and with good reason, because from the last 9 seasons, it's been aside from that group of three top spending or top payers, I should say, that have won the Premier League. So another factor there. Crucially, I think what we should be looking for in terms of dividing those three, though, is a strong attack, probably more so than their defence, really. I think a lot of people talked about Robin van Persie being central to Manchester United's winning title charge last year, and there's a lot of evidence to back it up. 10 of the last 14 Premier League winners have had a player score 20 plus goals, and I think that is most worrying for the likes of Chelsea, who really don't have a clear out and out goal scorer, and probably why they're so desperate to sign Wayne Rooney, why Man United are so desperate not to sell Wayne Rooney to Chelsea. And then you've got, of course, Man City, who had a lot of problems with Aguero's fitness last year. They've gone out and strengthened with the likes of Negredo and Jovetic. And you've got to think that if either of those can settle in and start banging in the goals, or if they can keep Aguero fit and get him back to the level he was at 2 years ago, they've got a great chance as well. I should say the last 4 seasons, the sides that have kept the most clean sheets have actually not won the league. So while it might seem massively important to keep teams out, actually it's all about that attacking football, and maybe explains why Sir Alex Ferguson was so desperate to go out and sign RVP last summer. I like to play this on a more of a short-term basis, though, this market. I don't like to just back a team and sit back and wait until May to find out whether I'm going to get paid or not. I prefer to look at blocks of fixtures and try and anticipate when a bit of movement might be in the prices, and whether I can effectively end up backing all of the contenders by the end of the year with a guaranteed payout as the prices swing back and forth, and particularly suited to a close title race where momentum might shift back and forth between the sides, and I feel that could well be the case this year. Looking at those opening blocks of fixtures, The first six I've gone by. Man City stick out here for how easy they are, and the fact that 6 games in I could see them being a good few points clear of their rivals here. Just look at Chelsea, great start for them at home to Hull and Aston Villa, but then they've got to go away to Manchester United, crucially, away to Everton. They've got to play Fulham in a London derby, a West London derby, then they've got to go away to Spurs at the end of that 6 game sequence. Manchester United, meanwhile, tough start away to Swansea. They've got them face Chelsea, away to Liverpool as their 3rd game. It gets a little bit easier with Crystal Palace at home, but then of course they've got to go away to Manchester City before playing West Brom at home. And City, that's their only real tough game, it seems, on paper in the first 6 games. Newcastle at home, Cardiff away, Hull at home, Stoke away, Manchester United at home, the big one as I say, and Aston Villa away. I just feel like going into that United game with those 5 games ahead of it, or 4 games ahead of it I should say, they'll have a bit of momentum. Excuse me. They'll have home advantage. I think that's going to be absolutely massive going into that game, and you can see if they won that, they'll have a significant advantage at that stage over United at least. And I can see Chelsea dropping a good few points as well. Distraction of the European Super Cup in there too, not going to help them to make a good start. And with that in mind, I'm going to be back in City at 9-4 at least to begin with a view to getting on the others further down the line. Anyway, I hope you join me for my other videos. I'm going to check out the relegation market in the next one. So enjoy and have a watch. Cheers.